Principles of sports nutrition.
Functional type refers to what we become as a consequence of doing everything right. With specificity to training for sport, for example, the training itself causes a definite structural, physiological, and even biochemical adaptation. We evolved over millions of years by natural selection, and adaptation is an essential component of that evolutionary process. So we are designed by nature to adapt, and we do. If we expose our skin to the light from the sun, it darkens. If we move away from the light, it lightens. So there's an example of adaptation. So in sport, when we're training, we need to train correctly, with elegance, with intensity, but we need to train the right way, because as a consequence of not doing that, we won't develop the functional body or the phenotype that allows us to functionally succeed in our sport with the least amount of injury and maximum amount of positive emotion, including happiness and fun, which is ultimately the objective of sport: to have fun, to demonstrate your skill, not to kill, not to maim, not to damage, but to demonstrate your skill, to take on the challenge, to execute everything that you've put into the sport that you love and enjoy. Remember that life is a sport, the object of which is not to win, the object of which is to have fun and achieve your ambitious goals, which in this case is a particular sport or any number of recreational activities that you enjoy. Functional type is based on the premise or principle that form should follow function. We've all heard this statement before: form follows function. Well, form follows function is a principle associated with modern architecture and industrial design, and the principle is that the shape of a building or object, in this case your body, let's call it your house, should be primarily based upon its intended function or purpose. So here's where the training, here's where the lifestyle, here's where the nutrition, here's where the science comes in. We're going to create a body or a house by design so that it is more functional to achieve our goal. Perhaps it's as a bodybuilder, as an ice skater, as a curler, as a hockey player, as a lacrosse player. Whatever your sport is, you want your body to facilitate at its best possible level of performance its maximum function and capacity. Look, for example, at the world's best athletes. Look at their bodies. You can literally see the changes that occur to their bodies over time as they improve and mature over time. Progressively training towards improving their performance, you can see that there are physiological changes, structural changes in their body. Bodybuilding is a great example, but you can look at golfers, you can look at football players. You can see that over time they might get bigger or stronger or develop greater stamina and endurance. Functional type is more than just aesthetics or what the house or body looks like. It's how it functions from the inside out. Your metabolic chemistry, hormone chemistry, your brain's functional ability, the elements of performance that relate to VO2 max or the production of enzymes and the transfer of energy throughout the body. What we do and how we do it should correlate with the best possible outcome in terms of both health and performance. So functional type is devoted to the preservation of health, never to compromise health. Even though we can take substances and abuse our bodies in the process to enhance our performance, we don't do it because it violates the premise of do no harm. In 1896, the great American architect Louis Sullivan is quoted with this original quote, "Form ever follows function." It's been shortened and simplified. We know it as form follows function. The phrase as originally quoted by Sullivan goes something like this: "It is the pervading law of all things organic and inorganic, of all things physical and metaphysical, of all things human and all things superhuman, of all true manifestations of the head, of the heart, of the soul, that the life is recognizable in its expression, that form ever follows function. This is the law.